Alrighty, and welcome back to This Week in Jump, Part 2.
All right, number 12, Food Wars. You see the recap of Takumi. We see the recap where he's just been defeated by Arena, and you see Saiba talking to Arena. Megumi was eavesdropping on them.
Mm-hmm.
She gets found out by Saiba. Then she asks why he's doing, basically instigating things with her
Yeah,
and acting so friendly. And she sees that Arena's upset about it. Just in general, she's just very cold, and she's like, "What's going on?" And challenges him to a shokugeki.
yeah, in which case we've already seen you can't do it with someone who's outside of the school.
He accepts anyway on the condition that she defeats the next person because they're going to end up in the brackets. He was next anyway.
Yeah. So they're going to fight anyways, but the deal part of it, he could just
Lie.
he could just lie.
Oh
And
yeah, I won't mess
I
with him.
can easily see the artist drawing his smug face like I have no reason to agree
Your terms.
to your terms. It's like I'm going to keep pursuing no matter what. But
Her opponent is Noir Wong.
yeah, he Megumi has to fight someone first before even having a chance.
Yes,
And this guy is using some very unique cooking tools, which are
his claws.
metal claws. Which in barbecuing, you use these claws to shred meat for a lot of like pulled pork
Mm-hmm.
and even like some shredded like brisket. You can do this a lot with meats, which is much more what's the word? More full bodied food compared to Megumi, where it's a lot more of vegetables and
Home style cooking.
home style cooking.
Yes, and we find out that apparently this Wong cook is from a lineage of assassins from China, but he still winds up getting defeated,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's irrelevant when you're cooking.
Yeah, but each point of his claw is the five basic tastes: sweet, salty, sour, butter, and umami. There's different translations for
Mhm.
it, but he still winds up being trounced 3-0.
Yeah, Megumi, who really has grown a lot as a character. She cares about her friends. She cares about the relationships she's made. She's seen Arena at her lowest point and been able to bring her back. She doesn't want anyone to even try to do that to her again.
And that seems like what Saiba's trying to do for the most part.
Yeah.
I did kind of want the fight to go on a little bit longer. Was that just me?
No,
It felt like it
again,
was a little rushed. I okay. Speculation corner, real quick. This is adjunct. Does it feel like maybe they're telling him to hurry up and end this, like the series as a whole? Like, just hurry up, get to the point, and then you're done. Have the final battle between Saiba and Soma, and then call it there. That's the conclusion. There's nothing further to pursue. That's it. Because it seems really, really, really rushed.
I can kind of see that. The other thing is, I don't. I think he may have pre-planned this tournament bracket a little bit too big, and now he has fights that are throwaways, characters that are throwaways. How many how many people did Arena just brush on through that were all noir?
That was like 10 or something
Like
like
we
that.
don't even know really who
Yeah,
they are
the,
or
the image,
anything.
it was just brackets all leading to her single line going all the way up.
Yeah, it these characters, these
The,
other people do not matter. The people who really matter are a
the
lot of the
main
characters
characters.
we know, and Saiba.
Yes.
I think it might be more of a I planned for too much and it kind of screwed me over. Whereas the autumn festival, where people were much more, uh,
The Autumn Festival was better.
they got in there because of their merit after the first initial uh, competition. I think that one was a lot more concise, so that they were able to show off their skills and personalities. Really,
It Yes, because it seems like every noir's personality is relatively determined by whatever their cooking tool is, less of what their personality is. And all of the kids in the Autumn Festival had personalities, and they also had their own way of cooking.
yeah.
Versus everybody now just having a cooking tool, and that's it. That they're one note. And I don't see like that Wong person. Oh, they're from the lineage of assassins, but they have nothing else to offer. I do feel like this is like a very lackluster arc. Like it started off very interesting with the inn in the spring, when they went over to when Megumi and Soma went over to investigate. And on that note, we also see that Saiba has a suitcase with the different cooking tools from different people, and he actually ends up getting it from wow, what do they call that guy's name? The Monarch from that previous arc. He's actually going to use his tool and Wong's tool to beat Megumi. So, in a really long roundabout way, I feel like this is a little rushed. Because Takumi got his own fight. I mean, Soma was there, but he still got to shine. Megumi got a chapter, or like, what is it, like a fourth of a chapter of fighting some guy, and then it's over?
Yeah, and then more exposition for Saiba, really much more focusing on him
Do
than
you think it's just.
Megumi,
Yeah.
and really devaluing her as a character.
I personally like Megumi more than Takumi.
Yeah, I would agree.
I want to see more of her cooking.
Yeah.
So that's why I was. I'm assuming that her next fight with Saiba is going to be over quickly too. I hope not. Number 11, we have the new series, Yui Kamio Let's Loose.
I like the series.
You were raving about it because you apparently already knew it was out whenever I said there was a new series.
Yeah, I
Since
had
you
already
okay,
read this.
I'll let you let loose on it then.
Haha. Okay, so we start off literally in the middle of a scenario that's already going on. This random girl is chained up,
Tied up. Too.
tied up
Both.
to a pole wall. Some monks are just around her, and another girl is just looking at her, not really mortified, just like this is better for you. And she is
Just protesting.
aggressive.
Yeah.
She is aggressive. Of course, you don't want to be tied up or anything, but really, what's going on here? And you have some nice color art, like, oh, these are maybe two new characters, maybe. No, it's the same character.
I thought it was two too. I was like, oh, okay, so they're the complement of light and dark
Yes,
as characters. Same person.
it's the same person, and because of the chains binding her alter self, she becomes essentially an angel, and she's very nice, very smart, very athletic, um, very very passive. Whereas in her darker form, she is rude. She is get out of my way, or I will throw you out of my way. Maybe there'll be blood, and if there is, that's okay.
Yeah, she beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, she's dangerous, and she's I would say this funny because of that.
I did laugh. I did laugh towards the end of the chapter when she was beating up the guy who was with the gang of delinquents. I did laugh at that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're interested.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's She's one of those types of people, and he's one of those people who is very much into the being dominated aspect.
Yes, and I really like this somewhat more of a shojo kind of manga being in Jump. Some people can say it's like, oh, it's empowering women. It's like, no, this is just good writing. This is a good character. If it was a boy who was really passive and then like really like off at the same time, it'd be hilarious. It'd be just as hilarious.
There is one thing though that I I'm not gonna. I hope this doesn't ruin it for you. And it's something that came to my head as soon as I was reading it. She's Launch.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's Launch from Dragon Ball.
and we have not seen Launch in a very long time, so I think it's good that she has her own series now. Because Launch, that's an interesting personality.
Yeah, going back and forth between being extremely passive and nice, and then being extremely violent, angry, and just usually always argumentative.
Yes, we have the pretty boys, a little bit beaten up, frazzled.
But Kito ends up becoming obsessed.
Yeah,
The prettiest pretty boy,
hmm
who
the
all the ladies
who
like.
has apparently a lot of money, a lot of ties with his family name, and
Oh yeah, they drink at Moonbucks coffee. It never be Starbucks. It's got to be Moonbucks. Got to be like Star something, but not Starbucks. We can't have that name brand.
yeah.
I thought that was. I always like including that for like whatever brand. Just like I included the McDonald's one. I like seeing those little knockoff nods. We forgot to mention Noah, Nao.
I would say
No,
now.
now. Yeah, all right. We'll go with that pronunciation. I read it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Now is basically the one responsible for keeping her in check.
Yes,
Yui, anyway.
and she is the best friend that you want to have. Someone who's constantly there for you, checking up on you, and telling you you're pretty and stuff like that. She is
Gosh, you're pretty.
she is the best friend someone can have. And I love how she is even when the dark one is out because she's still her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like no, I want the other
I want the other you.
I want the other you. I want the passive you. No, she loves her for who she is,
Mm-hmm.
and she wants what's best for her.
Which is for her to mostly be in her passive state. Just because more people recognize her in her black Yui form, I guess, because her hair is black and her outfit turns black.
Which I don't know how the
The outfit
clothes-
change.
but I like it. I like it. Just like don't ever
Don't
explain
explain
it. Don't ever explain it. I just want this to keep going.
You want to stay on this crazy train.
Yes.
That's okay. And we actually see that the Keto guy, who's one of the wealthiest people, actually winds up going to a cram school. And he's going to become a veterinarian, not a veteran,
Yeah. A veterinarian to help animals.
because of his goldfish.
Yeah. Because
Which I don't know how he had 1,000 in that goldfish tank. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, he didn't have the knowledge to do so, and he experienced loss, and that for some people it's very hard to deal with. So
The
making
driving motivation.
driving motivation for that is it's sweeter than I was thinking for this guy.
Yeah, I did not think that he would be or have that type of. Well, I guess deep down he has the heart of gold underneath all that crap.
Eh, gold is stretching it for him.
Okay,
At
so we'll
least
say
what we've
bronze.
seen.
We'll say bronze.
Bronze.
We'll give him a bronze. But he winds up being obsessed with her. And then he finds out that it was the same girl because of the gang.
They want this to keep it a secret.
Yeah. I am curious as to how that will play out. Like how How long can you keep that a secret from like everybody else?
Why would he want to keep it a secret? Other than being told that he goes to cram school. Like, if he goes to cram school, it's like, okay, whatever.
I think it's because he feels like he'd be ridiculed by his friends who don't need to go to cram school.
His friends seem very relaxed and nice.
Yeah, they do.
They knew they were pretty, but they don't try to flaunt it. They don't try to date all the girls. They're like, oh yeah, it's whatever.
They apparently do have parties all the time though, and oh, forgot to mention that he thinks that the gang is there because of the parties he has where there's girls that just show up.
Yeah.
Little did he know that they were actually there for Yui.
Yeah, they don't even know who he is. They don't care.
No.
Like, get out of here before you get hurt. I was like, I'm not used to this. Excuse me?
What?
I am not the center of attention.
It does not happen very often. But yeah, I do like the art style.
Very, very much.
It's a lot more distinct than what we have currently being published for the most part.
The thing is, she does look like the main protagonist from Tales of Berseria.
Oh, on the cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like that character's design. I have not played that one, but it's on my list.
It's on my list. She also looks like Akame from Akame ga Kill with the black hair that's really long. But it's a little bit stringier. But that's okay. I do like the character design. So I really, it's kind of almost. It could go in any direction right now, because it's literally just the first chapter.
Could go school life or slice of life. It could go battle.
I'm thinking it's going to probably do a mixture, but I'm wondering on how they're going to balance it. If it's going to be more battle or more school life. So overall, I felt like this was a stronger. Well, this is from a veteran mangaka. Like this is from the guy who did Nora. That was another series.
Sounds familiar, but I don't think I've read that one.
I haven't read it either.
But hey, it has me interested. It has me interested from the first chapter, which I could not say about The Last Sayuki.
I don't know if that one's from a veteran or if it's from a veteran duo team. I have to look more into that. Next is Haikyuu at number 10. This one was mostly just the plays of the game. Not a lot happened other than we get to see Tanaka make a point.
We see their team actually make a couple consecutive points.
Yes.
And I think that's the big point of this chapter. Is they're getting ahead. They're the ones who are setting the momentum right now for this first set.
Yes.
They're very much the first block counter was a fluke or an experiment, to say the least.
This chapter is also called Vines because all of the blockers on the other team, they literally have like vines show up in front of them to emphasize the fact that they're tall and their hands are like vines coming up to block. It's a shot at the end of the chapter, which I thought was really good. That's why I also put it like higher.
Yeah, it's thematic and it's nice. But they're still able to get around it, and they're still able to trick them on who's going to get the point, who's going to spike it.
Yes. And that's why I didn't have a whole lot to say about it, because it was, and going back to what I said last week, it reads very, very well in a volume format, where you have all of the chapters that have come out for the sequence of events, and it reads really well.
I like that Hinata's friends are still outside watching.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yes, that was a nice inclusion.
They might just be there until someone says, "Hey, move! You're in the way." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess we should
Let's go
leaves.
home and watch this.
Yeah. Also, the little giant just being ecstatic about Tanaka.
Tan- oh, what, his sister?
No, is is it Tanaka?
Tan- Tanaka's their last name. It's Ryosuke?
Yeah,
I forgot Tanaka's first name. His sister is Psycho. I can remember the sister's name. Or it's a little bit easier. I think it's Ryonosuke.
Yeah, I like I like that Ryunosuke when he got the point. The little giant took notice of that, and
He was actually psyched.
yeah, he was actually
He's
into
really
it.
into the game.
Yeah, he's loving it.
But then Tanaka unfortunately goofs on his serve afterwards and hits the net. So yeah, they're dead even right now, 3-3.
Yeah,
And that's why I said this is literally going to be like the next 20 or 30 chapters at least.
From
Which is fine.
From the start of this new fight, and they were emphasizing the blocking.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of the Date from the other team. I was thinking,
Thinking that the whole
why
time.
haven't they said anything about like him? Because he was like the wall,
Yes.
and
It's like playing three of him.
the last page playing three of them. Like I love that last page, and I love that they finally did what I thought they should have done a while back. But it's good. It's good. I like it.
He's good. He's good. Next, number 9, Demon Slayer. Kimetsu no Yaiba. And you're still... Did you read this week's, or did you...
I did.
How much have you read on the backlog, or none?
0.
0. In this one, it's the fight. It's what I've been wanting to see. And we actually see something before that. Akaza having this interaction with this, I guess who was ever his mentor, saying that we all have people that help us. We don't come into this world strong. We come in weak, and then we get strong, and then we pass that strength on to the next person. And then he is gonna go back and knock back his hand. Of course, he's not there. It's just a figment of his imagination. But Tanjiro is able to actually make him remember that and think about those memories from the past.
Yeah, and he hates that. He hates the past. Like he's making him feel unpleasant.
It seems like every demon, for the most part, has an extreme resentment to weakness and their past for anybody who was weak or who was, I guess, their master and didn't make them, in their opinion, strong enough.
And there's a bunch of attacks going off one after another.
And then we get to the part where he actually cuts his neck.
Just
Blood.
a bit.
Then we cut away from the fight just for a little bit to show that the younger Rengoku had actually written a letter and asked their ancestor a couple of questions about Tanjiro, if he was going to be a success or not, or be successful in helping bring a good future, which apparently he is. So there is luck on his side, or I guess the predecessor's opinion on this side. We also see that Gyu isn't KO'd, but we also see that he can't get the letter yet that Sengoku had sent over to him because of the fight. And you actually see the crow trembling and
fear,
hiding in the sides.
literally in fear, and going in for what is it? A dancing blade attack, and he catches the blade with his hands,
and then he's gonna break it.
Yeah,
headbutt.
That's I have heard of that.
The clapping
clapping it to stop its momentum, to kind of jostle it without slicing off a part of your flesh of your hands.
Is really hard.
And just essentially creating a central point on the blade and just being able to snap it just by
Oh,
turning
force.
just by turning their hands in a very sudden motion, somewhat akin to uh, bottles if you have them full of or a little bit of water at the bottom and you hit the top and the bottom just at just the right point, you can bust out the bottom just because of the vacuum that it creates in that small point. If you do that to steel and you're able to make just a little imperfection, that can completely destroy the blade.
Got a little bit ahead of myself by saying Big U is back, but he is back and is able to actually prevent the sword from snapping by cutting off his hands, and I guess they'll be reattached because they've cut off his arms, they reattached, they cut his throat, it just seals itself. So not out yet, despite going through many walls.
Yeah.
So that's where that ends. I like it. I love the art style. I love the.
It's very quick.
Yes.
That's what you want for
A battle
battle.
manga. Yes. Include one more on this, and we have number 8, Dr. Stone. Controversial to you?
Yes, I. How dare
Surprised that it.
you? I'm just kidding. Dr. Stone was not as good as it was previous chapter, but it was still very good in my mind. It doesn't always have to be about Senku and his friends.
It can be about everybody else.
We have Chrome. Like I've liked Chrome since he was
introduced.
He's very interesting. He is a blank slate and he is coming up with ideas on how to use things. And like, oh, that's a technology we have. Like he has no basis off of that. He's just using somewhat newer technology to him, and he's able to come up with these ideas by himself. He's not conversing with Senku or anyone else about these ideas. He's practicing by himself. He's able to make essentially a metal detector by himself. Like, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool for his character.
I did think it was funny how you had two people who had ideas based off the fact that the radio waves can see through everything.
Yeah.
And then Senku's like, but you wouldn't be able to see through clothes. I mean, we have X-rays, but then you'd see through the entire person.
Yeah.
But that was most of the focus, and through Chrome's investigation and creating the metal detector,
Be able to find
iron
veins,
ore,
an iron vein, and just have a steady supply of metals.
and then they acquire the mine.
Mines, they can get people working. They're eating good food, so they really don't need that much of incentive. If they do, they have the currency to fall back on.
But he's elated at his success for his discovery, all on his own.
Yeah, without much failure. Like he has dealt with a lot of failure, so just having a couple of hours just walking around, not really being able to find anything, and then having such a huge success, yeah, he should be elated. He should be praised for what he's able to do.
You also have Gin and Ryusei talking about leaders. Senku's more of the... He's kind of been thrust into the leader role, but Ryusei could be the leader of the Kingdom of Science because of the fact that he has experience in that realm.
Yeah, he is smart. I don't see him turning on Senku or anything like that.
No.
Because he's just the right amount of dumb that Senku and Gin can actually manipulate. But they don't really...
I would say he wouldn't want to do anything to Senku just because he wants Senku to keep developing the world back to how it was before. And currently, there's nobody else who's even the closest is Chrome when it comes to like being able
Technology and
scientific
intelligence.
innovation.
The next would most likely be the Craftsman.
But even then, he needs blueprints to be given ideas
Yeah.
on what to do.
I could say now
He's
he,
pretty intelligent.
He can make something. I think he. I think we might see him make something new. On his own.
Well, I mean, he did upgrade the steam powered vehicle on his own.
Oh right, duh. And that was that was a great.
The upgrade was cool. The Gorilla 2.
Yeah, and now
The car's called.
they have rail carts to transfer rail carts and boats to transfer stuff along the path, and have a couple of
Ports.
ports which are relatively close.
The world is expanding.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
but this was just building more on the foundation
Yes.
so that they can venture out
Yes.
even further.
Correct.
It's a chapter that's needed. I feel there's a couple of chapters for Dr. Stone that need to be in place before they can do anything really grandiose.
Well, yeah,
This might
yeah.
be one of those.
It's a foundational chapter, I would say. And thus ends part 2. We will be making part 3 very soon.